How do you improve upon one of the best-selling travel trailers for the last few years? Well, you add a bunch of features and don't touch the cost. So, let's talk a little bit about some of the changes for the all-new 2025 Coleman 17B. You'll notice a few things right away. One of them is going to be, well, you probably won't notice this, but this top shelf right here is actually deeper than what it was in past models, so you can fit bins and other items up here a lot more easily. Something you may notice is that they added a wardrobe. So now you have a spot to hang your clothes, which again is just one of those kind of quality of life improvements that I really like seeing. The bed here, again, one of those quality of life things. Rather than being a teddy bear bunk mattress that was really thin, they give you an actual mattress now. You still have storage underneath, which is great. And that is nice and easy to access. Again, a good spot for any additional larger items that you need storage for. Something else you will notice is when it starts to come to some of your charging capabilities. So you now have USB A and C ports both by the bed as well as by the bunk areas. And one of the things you may have noticed, the electrical outlets are now all pre-wire inverted for solar flex. The reason they're able to do that is because, believe it or not, the Coleman line has actually switched manufacturers for 2025. It is now being manufactured by Keystone RV. So because of that, they're able to put in some of those things that Keystone has. For example, that pre-wire for the solar flex. And because of the economies of scale, they're able to add some features and not raise price point. Another thing you will see right over here to the side, I really like this. Before, you had a single door with just kind of empty areas on the sides. I know a lot of people made modifications here. They went ahead and took care of that for you. Now, this whole thing is easily accessible storage, and you will see the doors open to this side instead of up. Right down underneath, again, your standard dinette there with the window. This does drop down, so you have that additional sleeping space. Speaking of space, take a look at the head height here. So this is a 6'6" ceiling in here, and when we go into the shower, you're going to see the fact that as a 6-foot tall person, I can actually stand up in there, which I love. I think that is just an awesome change. Over to this side, they open this up, which I really like. It gives it that more open feel. 300-pound weight capacity here on the bunks. And as I mentioned, you have that USB A and C ports right there. Then if we take a look across at the kitchen, again, some excellent changes. You will see, once again, now before, right, it had two doors, but they opened up. Now they open sideways, giving you bigger access. And because you get that additional ceiling height in here, it makes the overhead storage a little bit bigger too, which is definitely a huge win. As for the countertop, nothing went too terribly different here. They will notice that you have different colored finishes on the hardware, which I like, different colored sink here too. But if we drop down below, this is where you're going to start to see some big changes. One of them, holy moly, you have huge storage here, massive space for a trash can. You have two drawers built in. Also, they changed the bottoms. It used to be a panel. Now it's actual wood. So it's not going, the bottom is not going to fall out, right? You don't have to worry about putting too much in here. You have super usable drawer space, and you have that big open space underneath, really help maximizing the kitchen space. They were able to do that in part because they removed the fireplace and instead put in a furnace. I know this was a big ask from a lot of people, so you can use this in a little bit colder weather now. Not saying I would camp in it in winter, but if you're doing that kind of early spring, late fall, you now have an actual furnace to keep things nice and toasty. You'll see this changed a little bit here as well. So you still have the 12-volt compressor-driven refrigerator, but what you'll notice is they have a bracket. So that way this isn't moving around. It is nice and secure during travel. You'll see the big opening here for the additional storage, which that is new. And then the microwave is going to be right up top. As we make our way back into the bathroom, couple big features here. Generally, a bathroom's not a space where I get to brag about, right? It's a bathroom, but a few big things. One, right over here on the wall, oh yeah, you now have instant on-demand hot water. So that is a huge feature when you're at the campground. You don't have to worry about, your water heater that when you take a shower runs out after 5-6 minutes. With that thing, you will be able to enjoy your shower, and even more so because as a 6-foot tall adult, I can now stand in here. Previous iterations, the 17B, I had to be like this. I now get that extra space, which really, for me, is just kind of icing on the cake with all the other additions that you're getting in the 2025 17B. But with added features and higher ceiling height, what happens to the weight? It's a great question. Let's take a look. So this one, as equipped, is 3,088 pounds, GVWR of 3,900, and then your gross axle weight rating is going to be 4,000 pounds. So again, it's perfectly equipped for that tow vehicle that can tow 5,000. Taking a look at the storage, that's right, there's a door on this side. You get full pass-through storage in the 2025 17B. And then right over to the side, you will see that if you do decide to get the solar flex system, the charge controller and inverter can be mounted right there. Something else you may not notice, but the outside lights on here are LED, which is going to be great for the battery consumption. And then coming around to the front, if you don't want to do the solar flex, maybe you already have like a briefcase style solar setup, there is a hookup for that still, so you can plug that in and you'll be good to go. Something else that I like is going to be this right here. You'll see they have a little holder for your 7-way plug as well as the chains. That way, you know, again, it's just a convenient spot to put them while you are at the campsite. Coming around to the side, a couple of things that I want to hit on here. One, again, is that pass-through storage with the magnetic catch. You'll also see that you have all new graphics this year. That is something that has changed. They kind of went with the black. I personally really like that look. I think it is going to be much improved. Something else that I think was a huge improvement is this right here. That is the door. I know so many people complained about the hook on the door. Now you have a friction hinge. Now, when it swings open, you do still have to worry about the awning. Not that granted, the awning will probably close it by itself, but I wouldn't bet on that. You'll still want to close it. But the fact it is friction hinge, I think it's just a huge upgrade over what was available before. And you will see the amber light right outside the door, so you're able to see, if you're coming back to your campsite late at night. Electrical outlet will be located right over here as well. And if we make our way to the back, you'll notice these square tubular bumpers. So if you have the right sewer hose, you can slide that in there. You will also see kind of right up top here is going to be backup camera prep. So if you want that, it is nice and easy to install. And as I mentioned, this is going to be a huge change. The fact that this is a completely different manufacturer, and I think they did a great job. The fit and finish on this one is fantastic. As I mentioned inside, this one has your tankless water heater. You also see the fresh tank fill, city water inlet, and then your terminations will be located right down underneath that. As I mentioned, it's hard to take one of the best-selling travel trailers and make it better. But by switching manufacturers, they got better economies of scale. They were able to put in better features and still maintain that price point to make this one of the most accessible travel trailers in the industry. If you're looking to get into RVing or you're looking to upgrade from a tent or a pop-up, this is one you don't want to miss.